Okay, so here's a little bit of help with part 2 of the lab when you're trying to plot some of the boat locations. So you really have three things you have to do. There's 10 boat locations that I want you to plot. So you're going to put a place mark. So you should have 10 place marks for each of those. And then you're going to attempt to draw with the drawing or the measuring tool a path that looks similar to the old coastline. And then you're going to put a little mark for the Millennium Tower. So how you're going to do that is here in the lab itself, we've got the longitude, latitudes. So all you need to do is highlight these guys. And then we're just going to copy. And then I'm going to bring that over to my Google Earth. And I'm going to paste it right here. And then I'm going to hit search. And I'm going to let Google Earth find that for me. So I'm not going to touch anything until it stops moving. And so that's the location of the first boat there. And so what you want to do is place a place mark there. So that's what this little plus is. So I'm going to do that. You should get a pop-up window like this. Sometimes it's hidden if you have multiple windows, so you might have to close them out to find it. And then you can call this whatever you want. I'm just going to call it boat 1, but you could give it the boat name if you want. So boat 1, and then hit OK. And now that's going to stay there. And then you can go back to our lovely second one, and we can highlight that. Just right click and copy, bring that back to my Google Earth, and I'm going to copy and paste that in there. Hit paste, say go get that one. It's going to, and I'm going to let it go. It's going to move just a little bit till it stops moving, and then I'm just going to say give me another spot there, and then we can call that one boat 2, and then hit OK. And then you're just going to continue like that, and you're going to end up with 10 little pins that show me where the boats are. The other thing is to draw the coastline. And so look, the coastline, you'll have to zoom out to at least to here, and that should give you enough room. And what I'm asking you to do is actually compare. So we're going to compare this. This is an old map. This is the old coastline. And so it's a little tricky, so it doesn't have to be perfect. But you can see that as you look at San Francisco here, everything's kind of north-south. There's this one road market that's on an angle like this. And if we go back to Google Earth, we could see that everything's kind of north-south, and here's that angled road. That's the same one that's on the map. And so if we go back and forth a little bit and try to see like what's happening here, we could see that over here, this recon point, that's kind of where the bridge attaches to San Francisco. So I'm going to draw a little bubble that kind of arcs inward a certain amount, and then it kind of comes close to the current coastline, but not quite there, comes in a little and goes back out. So like I said, just roughly, doesn't have to be perfect. In order to do that, you're just going to come up to this ruler tool here, and you'll get a pop-up window, and we're going to do a path, okay? I'll move that out of the way a little bit. And then I'm going to get this little icon, little crosshairs, and I'm going to put a little click. That's my first point. And I'm going to say it bubbles out like that. Whee! And then I'm just going to keep clicking, and it's going to connect the dots. And so if you think it's, the old coastline is, like this, or it goes way out here, whatever it does, until you're done, you just double click. And then we can keep that. We can hit save. What do you want to call that? We'll call it coast. And then hit OK. And there it is. And so what you'll end up with is a bunch of little dots. And you could change the icons if you really wanted to, but you don't have to. So you'll have 10 little place marks. You'll have some rough estimate of the old coastline. And lastly, up here in the search bar, you can just type in Millennium Tower, San Francisco. Same thing, do a search, it'll take you to that, and then put a place mark there and just type in tower. And then you've done the 3 tasks, right? You plotted 10 boat locations, you've drawn the coast, and you put a plot for the tower. And then you just want to capture this screen. And you can either do that with one of these here where, let's see, you do a save image, or you can just do a screen capture of your whole screen and save that. And that's the file I want you, or the image I want you to upload for the second part of the lab. So hope that helps, and if you have questions, of course, you can reach out to me.